Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the sweet spot. I'm so excited for this conversation. I put a poll up on my Instagram stories the other day asking what do you guys want me to talk about? And it's been so fun. You guys, this podcast has been such a treat for me. And here's what I didn't expect about this podcast is I have heard from so many people that I haven't talked to in so many years. And it's so fun. I am so supported, and I love that belief. I love to know that I am distantly connected to so many of you. But what this has led to is so many people from all different parts of my life are spending time listening to this podcast and reaching out to me. And it has been this new form of connection that I honestly was not anticipating. And it has been such an unexpected gift. And I'm just so thankful for it. I'm also so thankful for it because I am having a freaking blast recording these episodes. And I think there were thoughts that I had about it at the beginning of gosh, why have I put this off for so long? But at the same time, I think this is all happening in such perfect timing. And, so many of these episodes are about things that I have learned in my personal growth journey over the last 7 years. A lot of the topics are things that you guys bring to me about can you talk about this and just kind of give some advice or guidance on it. A lot of it is my own story sharing, and it's just been so fun to just let this be an extension of me that doesn't have any rules, that doesn't fit in a box. And the cool thing is that I'm hearing from so many of you, and you're saying that it's really resonating. What a gift that is for me to receive that, but also that it's getting home for you, that you're listening and getting curious about maybe something in your life, or maybe you're seeing possibility in a way that you hadn't before. And, when I started this, that was my goal. I just want you to be seen. And I think the way that we get to do that through other people is through other people's stories, through other people sharing, through other people who are willing to be vulnerable. And that is one of my superpowers, is I'm willing to share. I'm willing to be open and transparent and share what I've learned or what I've gone through or what's real for me, and in hopes that that helps you in some way. And the more I'm hearing from you, the more that's ringing true. And I'm so thankful for it. But so as I said, I put up a question box last week about what do you guys want to hear about? And I'm so glad that I have kind of a gauge on what's going on for you and what might help you, because the more that this helps you, the better. So we're going to start with imposter syndrome. And this is such a big one. I think that, especially in the space where people are making big changes in their lives. I know for many of us who are entrepreneurs, where we're starting businesses or trying new things, this can creep in really loud. But even for my non-entrepreneurs, I coach on this a lot in my Sweet Spot Collective, which is my life coaching, group coaching program, because this shows up anytime we're wanting to create change in who we're being and how we're showing up. And I think my biggest challenge with imposter syndrome is what we call it. We call it a syndrome. We treat it like it's this sickness or this disease, this syndrome that is such a that's so dramatic, really. When I imagine what imposter syndrome is, I'm it's just appropriate response to us doing something new, right? When a child is trying something for the first time and they're scared or nervous because they're doing something new, we don't go, oh yeah, you have imposter syndrome, right? We're of course you feel nervous. You're trying something new. That's what happens when we're doing something we haven't done before, or we're being something we haven't been before, is our brain shows up and we get maybe a little nervous or a little scared. Fear comes up. That's just appropriate response to what's happening. That's just appropriate response to a decision that we're making to walk towards something new. But for whatever reason, when we are adults and we're trying something new and our brain shows up with that same primal response, we've labeled it as a syndrome, as a problem. And so what I want to remind you about imposter syndrome is, of course, you're feeling this way. Of course, as you create change in your life, in who you're being, and in how you're showing up, of course your brain is going to go, who do you think you are to do this? Because your brain wants nothing more than for you to just stay the same. That feels like the safest option for your brain. That's familiar. Anything that is unfamiliar feels like hell to your brain. It feels like a threat. It feels like danger. So your brain shows up really loud with, do you really think this is a good idea? Are you qualified for this? Who do you think you are? Why do you think you're deserving of this? All the thoughts that will stop us in our tracks so that we'll just contract and stay the same and play small. But when we normalize this, which is what I think the power that we have is to go, of course, we normalize things with compassion. Of course I'm feeling this way. I'm about to leave my job and start a business. I'm about to put myself on a stage. I'm about to change. I'm about to show up differently in my marriage or in my relationships. Of course, I feel uncomfortable. This is just appropriate response to something new or different. Appropriate response. This is just a normal response to trying something new. And so the next time you are walking down your growth path or you're going after chasing one of your big dreams and your brain shows up really loud in this, I want you to just wrap yourself in a giant hug of compassion and go, of course I'm feeling this way. Of course fear is showing up. Of course. That's what compassion sounds like. Of course I feel this way. Let's remove the label of imposter syndrome so that it doesn't feel like such a big problem, because it's not. Being scared is part of the process. It's part of the process when we are doing something new and different. The reality is we try new things less and less the older we get. Right? When we're kids, that's all we do. Most of the things we do in our childhood are new and different. So that's a pretty normal thing to feel when we're kids. But for whatever reason, when we hit a certain point, I think it's probably around 25 or 30, where we go, well, this is my life now. We stop trying new things. We stop walking on new paths. And so if you find yourself on a journey of some sort, whether it's personal growth or professional growth, or you're going to start a business, or you're going to chase a dream, or you're going to go after a new health goal, or whatever it is, you want to create an exceptional marriage, you want to try new things in your marriage, you want to meet new people. This comes up a lot for women I coach when they're like, I really want to create new connections and friendship as an adult. Imposter syndrome shows up really loud. It's uncomfortable. It feels scary. Who am I to do this at this point in my life? And I'm like, you're a human that has a desire who's going to walk towards it and is going to feel the discomfort, which is just an appropriate response to doing something new and different. During my personal growth journey at the beginning, I felt this so much. My brain wanted so bad for me to just stay the same and go back to that checkbox life because that was familiar. When I started my business and I was going to go put myself out there on Instagram and tell people that I was starting this new thing, my brain showed up so loud, like, who are you to do this? Can't you just keep flipping houses with your husband and stay the same? Why now? It was so uncomfortable. But I remember learning about this and going like, of course I'm feeling this way. And with everything new that I've done in my life and in my business and in my marriage and in my relationships and in my parenting, in all of the areas of my life, in my health even, a version of this has shown up, but now I just treat it as like part of the process because it is. It's just part of the process. Discomfort is just part of the process. We just don't put ourselves in uncomfortable situations on purpose very often for those years. And then when we start to walk down new paths, maybe you've hit a point like I did. Maybe you've hit your mid-ish life awakening or crisis, whatever you want to call it, and you want to try some new things, or you want to explore some new opportunities, or you want to create some change in your life. Of course our brain is going to show up. It's going to come to this party so loud and try to get you to stay the same and stay on the same path, because that's what familiar feels like. It feels safe. And so as this happens, remind yourself this is just a normal response to me trying something different and trying something new. I think imposter syndrome is a really good sign that you're doing some epic shit in your life. When I feel it come up, maybe even I felt it a little bit with the podcast. I don't label anything as imposter syndrome anymore, because I just call it, like, of course, like, I'm feeling fear. That's what it is. Right? But even when I was about to launch this podcast, maybe that was that voice of like, well, what are you going to talk about and who are you going to talk to? And like my brain was delivering me these thoughts that were trying to keep me from doing this supposedly scary thing. But here I am a month into this, loving it so fucking much. Imagine if I had let that voice win. Imagine if I had let that voice win when I was starting my coaching business. Not only would I not have been able to help hundreds of women now in their own journey, but I also wouldn't have this incredible, expansive life that I'm living right now. Like, I can't even imagine what it would be like if I hadn't found this work and started all of that. If I had let imposter syndrome win, I wouldn't be here. But when we normalize it as just part of the experience, when we're creating change and doing cool shit, new shit in our life, we go, of course I'm feeling this way. I'm doing something new. I'm trying something new as an adult, and it feels wildly uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the less uncomfortable it feels. The more it feels like a normal part of the process. Maybe that's why I didn't even qualify it as that when I was launching the podcast, right? In friendships, same thing. Who am I to put myself out there like that to meet new people? I've got great people in my life. That was my brain's answer to that. You've got great people in your life. Why can't you just stick with them? And I love them. And also, I wanted to meet people who were an energetic match for the version of me that I've become. And man, if I had stopped myself from that, because that voice won, I wouldn't have some of my very best friends that I have now. And so this is your reminder. If that voice shows up that says, who are you to do this? Why can't you just stay the same? Can't you just be grateful for what you have? Right? That's just fear talking. It's just a normal part of the process. And that's how I want you to treat it. It's just a normal part of the process. Discomfort is part of the process when we are growing and stretching and changing. And man, I pray to God that I'm still doing that for the rest of my life, that I'm still practicing discomfort. Because I know that staying in my comfort zone means staying safe and playing small. And that's not what I'm here for. So when I hear that voice, when I feel that feeling, I normalize it now. It is just an appropriate response to doing something new and different. And the same is true for you. It's not a syndrome. It's not that big of a deal. It's just part of the process. So let that be true for you. And if you're trying something new, I can't tell you how valuable it is to have a coach when you are on a path of trying new things along the way, because they're going to be your reminder of this, your reminder of what your brain is doing, your reminder of the normalcy of this, so that you will keep moving forward even when this fear tries to stop you. But remind yourself that one tiny step at a time. You can just love yourself through it, offer yourself compassion. Of course I'm feeling nervous or scared. This is new. And I can keep going even when I feel nervous or scared. That's the power you have. So don't let that voice win. Because when you get in the habit of practicing that discomfort, the best things in your life show up. The best, most connected, most aligned decisions arrive for you. So be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself as you're creating change. Right? We're in this for the long game, right? This isn't something that happens overnight where we're just able to tolerate fear in that way. But the more we practice it, the more we practice the discomfort, the more normal it feels. It's part of the process when we are in growth and expansion. All right, you guys, I hope this serves you. I coach on this so much, so I know it's going to connect with so many of you. I can't wait to hear how it serves you, reach out to me, DM me. I would love to connect with you. I am going to put some information in the show notes. I don't plan on selling a lot in here. That is not the intent of this, but I do want to make sure that I'm always inviting you into my rooms and my offers, because this work has changed my life and it's changed so many lives of the women that I have been able to work with in this journey. And so in the show notes below, you're going to see this is the work that we do inside of the rooms that I have created. And I have some early access offers available for 2026. If you sign up before November 30th, you are going to get some early access bonuses that I think are going to blow your mind, and it's going to allow us to start some of this work ahead of time. I've got 3 early access offers, and I would love, if it feels aligned, I would love to have you step into one of them. All right, you guys, I love you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.